All right, welcome to our first edition. Today we're going to look at the world. We're going to ask, what the hell's wrong with you people? Let me tell you, I got a story that's going to blow your mind. So remember when you were a kid and you were absolutely convinced there was like a monster under your bed? Remember how your parents would come in, check under there and tell you, it's all in your imagination? Well, it turns out sometimes it isn't. That's right. Recently in Great Bend, Kansas, a babysitter was getting the kids ready for bed when one of them complained about a monster underneath the bed. Now, like any responsible adult, the babysitter decided to show the kid, there's nothing to be afraid of. Leaned down, looked under the bed, and came face to face with an actual man staring back at her. What the heck? Not a dust bunny, not a lost sock, a whole ass adult human being staring back at her. This is him. Whew. Now, I don't know about you, but I spent my entire life thinking the monster in the bed was just like this childhood fantasy. Well, it turns out I was wrong. The monsters are real, and they're wearing people costumes. This isn't some random home invasion. Authorities said the guy was identified as a 27-year-old who once lived in the residence, but had to be ordered to stay away under a protection order. So not only is he creeping around under a kid's bed, but he's violating a court order to do it. But here's what's really messing with my head. Think about it. How many childhood fears have we dismissed as like imagination? What if the creaking in your attic isn't the house settling? What if the shadow in the corner there in your room isn't your coat, like actually hanging on a hook? And you know what's really wild about this? The babysitter didn't run screaming from the house. No, this hero got into an altercation with the guy. Can you imagine? You're making minimum wage, watching someone else's kid, and suddenly you're in hand-to-hand combat with this literal boogeyman. Man, the babysitter deserves a raise. Maybe a medal. At the very least, but how about some therapy? I mean, come on, seriously. This story has me thinking about all the monsters we face in life. When we're kids, man, they're all in the bed they're all under the bed or in the closet. But as adults, they're in our minds. Fears of failure, fears of rejection, fears of not being enough. And we tell ourselves, man, these monsters aren't real. But sometimes, just like the babysitter found out, those monsters are very real. And we have to face them head on because in some situation, no one's coming to save us. Our brains were wired to look for threats. For thousands of years, that kept us alive. Being afraid of the dark, being afraid of strange noises, being afraid of the unknown. Because if you weren't afraid, your ass is going to get eaten. Very least get, stabbed with a pointy stick. And those instincts, man, they're still with us. Even though most of us aren't fighting for survival anymore, this kid's fears about monsters under the bed, that's like ancient survival instinct all wrapped up into modern package. And you know what? Sometimes those instincts are right. That kid wasn't crazy. There was something under the bed. And it makes you wonder what else, has our gut feeling been right about? So the cops, man, they eventually caught the guy after a foot chase the next morning, and he's being held on like this $500,000 bond for charges including aggravated kidnapping, burglary, battery. I'm just saying, if you're going to hide somewhere, maybe pick a better spot. Because maybe the spot you're hiding in is going to get your butt whipped or perhaps put in jail. Or maybe the place you're hiding in to escape reality or whatever it is that you're running from isn't the healthiest place to be. Sometimes we need to check our reality. Sometimes we need to check our surroundings and ask, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Just a thought. Let me know in the comments, what childhood fear of yours turned out to be justified? Did a strange noise in your basement turn out to be more than just a water heater? Did something in your life turn out to be true even after everyone said, you're crazy, man? I don't know. Let me know your crazy story. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in. This first episode we're doing as we explore the weird and wonderful world we live in. Remember to like, subscribe, restack, and leave a comment with your thoughts. And until next time, I'll be back with some more strangeness. Until then, Stay crazy, my friends. Stay crazy.